companies, products, and services who refuse to invest in technology will die. Logistics industry is not immune to this trend. Today, we're going to talk about how you can leverage technology to do more with less. Brian, did you ever own a BlackBerry?
Yeah, I did. I was more of a, like a Sony thing when you had the stylus that came out.
Yeah.
No, I think I had a BlackBerry for a couple months there. Yeah.
Yeah. Whether BlackBerry, the documentary came out, they were so set on their product and disrupting the industry.
Yeah.
They refused to evolve with the iPhone.
Yeah.
No one wanted the email keypad anymore. It was going the iPad route or iPhone route. So refused to evolve. They're gone. No one has a BlackBerry anymore. I think they tried to make a comeback not too long ago. Still gone. Brian, how important is technology in logistics, and what does Veritas do to invest in technology?
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely important, right? There's a ton of companies that have popped up over the past 10 years that are moving our company in a better place than what it used to be. And a lot of these tech companies, there are services and products now that we would have never thought of 10 years ago, right? And I think that's where we look at it. Okay, how do we move our company and move our company forward, especially with the right tech products and the right tech vendors? The second part of your question was, what does Veritas do? That's a piece that we invest heavily in, right? From a TMS, from an EDI connection company, from a live quoting data tool, right? That we're getting all of this data and all this information to us, right? I mean, that data is huge in our industry. And how do we price out certain shipments, or how do we quote out certain things? And how do we make our platform or our shipments transparent to our customers, right? The people that are paying our bills, how do we let them know where their shipments are at all times, right? And that's through these tech vendors to make everybody's lives easier. So I think our industry, I think we're in a better place than we were 10 years ago. I still think we have a long way to come from the tech side.
Historically, you look at what our industry was about, and I'm referring to general freight brokerages.
Oh, yeah.
The cradle to grave model.
Sure.
Not a lot of people know what that is. If you're from the industry, you definitely know what that is. But cradle to grave model is speaking about the broker's role in moving a shipment from point A to point B. I think they used to receive a fax. I don't know what a fax machine is.
Yeah.
But used to. I'm kidding. I know what a fax machine is. You used to get a load tender from a shipper via fax.
Yep.
They would manually input all the pickup and delivery information. They're going to book a carrier. I don't know if if you're listening, if you've ever been to a truck stop where you see a load board at the truck stop. That's how carriers used to book shipments, and they would call in to whatever phone number is posted on that board. They would get a call in, they'd book that carrier, they would send the rate confirmation to the truck stop, and they are touching this shipment. There's a lot still that goes into that shipment, but they're touching this shipment so many times from point A to point B,
sure,
or from receiving the tender to invoicing the client.
Yeah.
Now, it's how few touches can we make for a single shipment?
Right.
From load tender to invoicing, how many times are we going to touch the shipment? The cradle to grave model was extremely manual. It led to burnout. It was not sustainable. It's not scalable. And that's why over the last 5 to 10 years, we've seen more and more automation to streamline these historical manual processes.
Sure.
Or historically manual processes. Brian, how did Veritas start out? What did the technology look like even 3 years ago, and how have we evolved towards more automation now?
Yeah, so I think, we were bare bones, right? You remember those days sending the dispatch sheet and sending the information over to the carriers, and it's from a system that, was a little outdated, right? And how do we... I think the biggest thing for us was, how do we do a client presentation, show our customers kind of what we use, right? Hey, take a sneak peek at what we use. We're kind of ashamed of it, right? It's kind of like that drawer in your house that's if you throw all the shit in, it's like, oh man, I really don't want to get into that one. I think we at our house we call it, people call it the junk drawer.
Yeah, we have two.
We have one in our. I'm trying to trick my brain. I call it the neat drawer, but that's still super shitty, right? But anyway, with that, how do we give our customers customers a sneak peek at what we're using and impress them with our software when it wasn't that impressive, right? So we had to make some changes. We had to invest into technology and try to reduce a lot of that automation on the back end. I think with our industry, there is, yes, tech is making a move, and there are some advancements that are awesome, especially for certain tasks. I also feel that the people behind the technology is equally as important, right? So you set the technology up. It's not necessarily a set it and forget it all the time. It is in most scenarios, but the people behind that technology to troubleshoot or to navigate any challenges, I think is huge as well.
Yeah, and I think it used to be more of a nice to have, like an investment. Sure. Again, there's 25,000 brokerages out there. It's all about cash flow. Early on, I think we had no money. Like, we had zero money. So we went the agent route to build up a reserve. Agent route, it was great. That helped us get to the next chapter of our story. But there's a lot of brokerages still out there who view technology as a nice to have.
Sure.
And I think it's important for us to stress, like, it's no longer nice to have. It's if you want to stay in business and evolve and continue to grow, technology is a must have.
Right.
You have to do it because you're going to lead to burnout. You're going to lose employees. You're going to lose market share. You're going to lose clients because clients are getting more technology.
Sure. Same
thing with flat screen TVs.
Yeah.
Those things used to be like $5,000. I know. You can get one at Sam's Club for $20.
Right.
70-inch. So like technology is going to get cheaper, and more people are going to invest in technology.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, Brian, how difficult was it to run a report?
Sure.
Client wanted an update. Hey, I need an update on that 100-load project.
It ain't happening.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was doable.
Yeah, it ain't happening. I think that's where we can make using the technology that we have, or using the technology even in our space, right? And there's, lots of vendors out there for several different things, and we'll go into, on the next episode, we'll go into one about the sales process and how to use your CRM and how to navigate that. But, and that's a different type of technology, right? So with the TMS and with the systems that we have, how are we using those? And, hopefully they all talk to one another, right? Where they're all able to share information across, and you're able to give, real-time data to customers where they can see everything that you're seeing.
We've touched a lot on the sales side, what our job entails from moving a shipment from point A to point B, even the back office. Brian, what type of technology is available for back office automation? Like, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so I think we partner with a company called Navix, and they do all document processing, all account invoicing. Essentially, instead of hiring 2 or 3 people, we're hiring this outsourced, kind of as a service vendor to do all that work for us, right? So they have a couple different document processing AI tools that they use, and then it automatically feeds up into our system, invoices our clients, takes care of any like shortages, damages, rejections, anything like that. So that's a way that, we are able to automate that process. You can take those resources and invest them back into the company, and you're still getting the same process on the backside or on the back end automation.
Yeah, and I mentioned this earlier, and you just kind of alluded to this, but companies or CFOs or CEOs are concerned about the cost of investing in technology when you should really be looking at the cost of not investing in technology.
Sure.
Because that is way more painful and way more expensive by not just simply looking at what you can do with technology.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like my dad, trying to teach my dad how to use an iPhone. Brian, if you look at our company from 3 or 4 years ago, the technology that we had, it felt like it was built in World War II.
Sure.
There are shippers, there's clients out there that are in the same boat as us with zero technology.
Right.
Now, if you are in the industry and you're working with small to mid-sized clients, think of it this way. How many hats is a typical logistics coordinator, logistics manager wearing at a small to mid-sized company?
5 or 6.
5, 6, 10 sometimes.
Yeah.
With a startup. Having technology as a transportation provider and giving that same technology to your clients to help automate some of their workflows is going to bring significant value to them because you're offloading a lot of the tasks or the hats that they're wearing.
Yeah, I think those, the people that you're mentioning, the logistics managers, wear, 5, 6, 10 hats. I think that's a real challenge, right? And I think that's why they look to people like us, like freight brokers, to help them out. Now, I got a real question for you, man. How do we at Veritas, company that puts our people first, how do we help out our people with the advancements of technology?
Brian, if I were to give you a pair of scissors and say, cut your yard, it would take you hours, maybe days. Now, if I were to give you a brand new John Deere state-of-the-art mower.
Is it a zero turn?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All you have to do is steer the thing.
God.
You can do it way faster. You can do it way more efficiently. And you can focus on other things that matter. For us, we're not trying to replace anyone. We still want people captaining the ship.
Yeah.
But now what does that mean that we can do with the extra time that we're saving not doing the manual processes? One, we can go invest in our employees. We can coach, train, develop. We're investing in our employees to empower them to do more, to be better at what they do. They then can go give our clients better service because they're not so bogged down by the operations. They're not doing check calls because we have GPS tracking.
Sure.
They're not manually building a shipment because we have APIs built that are feeding shipments directly over. We're not touching anything.
Yeah.
All we're doing is managing issues, over-servicing our clients, and providing a better overall service and client experience for our clients.
Yeah, maximizing efficiencies, man. I think that's the name of the game. All right, so as we wrap up this episode, leveraging technology in our space while still prioritizing people. You can still do it, especially, this day and age in transportation. There's probably more technology that's coming up, but this day and age, we encourage you, to our listeners, invest in the technology today. You'll be better off tomorrow.
Have they done their homework?
Yeah.
If they're calling me and I'm moving, let's just say, energy drinks.
Yep.
Are they just going to give me some generic sales pitch off the bat when they know nothing about me?
Sure.